Greetings. I've been trying really hard not to do a video about Joe Biden and his situation. Several reasons. The first is literally everybody is already talking about that, from the corporate media to independent media to randos talking at their computers or phones like me. Uh, it's just noise. Uh, really nothing distinguishing about that topic at this point at all. Second reason is that I've I've done it before. It's kind of been there, done that. Um, a year ago, I was uploading videos discussing how there was something wrong with Joe Biden. The getting lost on stage, the wandering away from events, obviously well before it was planned. Uh, the well, they called them gaffes, but we know now that it was just his brain melting down. You know the thing, dog-faced pony soldier, all the just weird stuff that he would say. So already covered that. I'm glad that especially the corporate media has finally caught on or caught up or just couldn't hide it anymore. But it feels like I'm just going back over ground I have already trod. And the third reason is it's very much an ongoing thing and could change drastically at any moment. By the time I record and upload this video, this stuff may be old news. Um, he may have decided to drop out. Now that Congress is back in session, they may start talking about the 25th Amendment. Who knows? But so there's that aspect of it as well. Um, it it wouldn't be all that fruitful to make a video and upload it, and by the time that it's on YouTube and Rumble, it, the situation has changed entirely. But I feel like I've got to. I feel like I've got to say something because this is important and it does expose so much that's wrong with not only our politics but our media, especially the corporate media, of course. It's who I'm talking about. And let's start there. Corporate media. Now, we've known for years, like this wasn't a new topic. Joe Biden having a brain that most resembled a sack full of drunken squirrels was a topic in 2019, maybe even before that. I know definitely 2019 and onward. And corporate media closed ranks. Said, oh, you're imagining things. That's just a right-wing talking point. They made excuses for him. They covered it up, which they continued to do in increasingly more absurd ways right up until the debate. Now they're acting like it all started at the debate, like none of the stuff we had already seen and heard ever happened. It wasn't what we saw and heard, it was cheap fakes or deceptively edited. And they're trying to pretend that it's only the debate and since then that counts, that is of concern. And that's utter nonsense. That's just them, once again, covering his butt and theirs because they don't want to admit that they were complicit in covering up Biden's cognitive decline, in it up to their necks. So that's where they are. And what about all the other people, all these events that he went to that he got lost on stage or wandered away? The weird behavior at the D-Day memorial or the G7 or all these other times where he's met with people or been at an event and acted bizarrely. All of those people, including foreign so-called leaders, where were they on this? Where were the stories of them going to their respective news outlets and saying there's something wrong with Joe Biden? The Americans need to straighten their stuff up. They need to get a handle on this. They need to stop pretending that everything is okay. Where were they? Silence, complete and utter silence. They're complicit, just like our media. Now, once this is all over, people will come out and they'll make excuses and they'll say, well, it was my job if I said anything. There were political ramifications if I came out and said something publicly. Well, yeah, that's why it's important. If it didn't matter, if it was just some piddly ass little thing that didn't affect anybody one way or the other, who cares? But this is kind of a big thing. Has been for years. Hard or not, difficult or not politically expedient or not, they should have come forward. They should have been blowing the whistle. They should have been blowing the lid off. Somebody, anybody, should have been saying something. But they didn't, which makes them complicit. And where this is going to go from here, it's kind of hard to tell, which is also stupid because they really only have one option. Joe either bows out or is removed by one procedural sleight of hand or another, and Kamala takes over. That's really their only option. Not only is she the vice president and the presumptive backup if something happened to Joe, she's the only one who can take over the infrastructure and the funding and all of that stuff. And as we know, politics in Washington runs on money. They don't have time for somebody to start square one and try to build a machine and gather donations before the general election. They don't have time. It will be an exercise in futility. Their only option is Kamala. So why are they dragging their feet and coming up with excuses and saying, well, what about this person? What about that person? That's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. You've only got one legitimate, valid option, and that's Kamala. So either do it or don't. Are you riding with Biden until the very end, which everybody knows how that's going to turn out? Or you switch to Kamala now and use what little time you've got left to try to make her the president. Those are your two options. You don't have any others, not realistically. So what's the holdup? Why are they so reticent? Why are they so hesitant to ride with Kamala? They were just fine with her as long as she was the vice president. What's the big problem with putting her on the top of the ticket? That's what she's there for, right? The vice president is there to take over if the president can no longer do their job. That's part of the job description of a vice president. So just do it already. I mean, personally, myself, I don't vote for Democrats and Republicans, so it doesn't matter to me in that way. I'm not voting for whoever the Democrats run. But just to inject a little bit of rationality, of logic, of reasonableness into this fucked up process that keeps dragging on and on and on and on and on. Please, just make up your minds, one or the other. Either you're going to drag Joe across the finish line in second place, or you're going to grudgingly, it seems, get behind Kamala and try to get her there first. Will it work? Who knows? She's not all that popular amongst the general public. She might not win either. But at least you'll have lost with somebody who knows what day it is and what year and what room they're in. She's occasionally confusing when she speaks. She's not the world's greatest orator by any stretch of the imagination. It's a hell of a lot better than the guy who can't complete a sentence or joins two or more sentences together, just taking pieces of each and jumbling them together. She's way better than that. So please, please, Democrats, stop shooting yourselves in the foot and the kneecap and the chest. Just do it. Just bite the frickin' bullet. One or the other. Make up your mind. Because this shit is getting old. And I know you don't care if you lose. But you're making it really obvious right now that you don't care if you lose. And that's going to ruin your whole scheme. That's going to ruin your whole game. The gravy train just might derail. Because people are starting to see that you're not really worried about democracy. You don't really care about the people. You're in it for yourselves, your families, your cronies, and your donors. The people who actually tell you what to do. And it's getting revealed in a way that that would have seemed impossible not that long ago. But it's apparent now. You don't actually believe any of the bullshit that you spew at these rallies, at these speeches, in these interviews. You don't believe a word of it. You don't care if you lose. Because you and the Republicans are on the same team. You're Team Duopoly. And as long as the torch is passed back and forth between Democrats and Republicans, you're all winning. It doesn't actually matter who gets to claim they won an election. And it's starting to become way too obvious. I mean, I don't think that. Personally, I wish you would just go ahead and admit it publicly, openly, and then let the people start to process that. I would love to see that. But for your own sakes, you might want to put a lid on that. Because way too many people are starting to get way too good a look at how things operate behind the curtain. And I'm guessing they're not going to like it. So get your shit together. Or don't. I'm here for it. Either way. Have a good one. Catch you next time.